It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. A very happy Monday to you. I am Anastasia Palacios.
And thank you for joining us dead early on this marvelous Monday. I wake up yet, my lips, they still attached to each other. I'm Mark Daniels, and thank you for joining us in Bahamas at Sunrise.
Indeed, we're happy to be back in your company. We hope that you enjoyed the weekend, that you're looking forward to a great week. And of course, that the fact that you are here this morning means that you're looking forward to a great show, which we're happy to bring to you. Mark, how was the weekend for you?
The weekend was pretty exciting. It was my middle son's birthday on Friday, Eli. So we had a small, birthday party with just us at the house. And then on Sunday, we had some of the family members over, just a small grill and chill. Always good to commune with family and, hype the children up on sugar and let them go. And so he enjoyed himself. And so we're just happy that he's made 6 laps around the sun and many more to come.
Yeah, it's always a beautiful thing to be able to celebrate with family. And so it's a blessing to hear that. I hope, of course, that it went well. I'm sure that Eli enjoyed it. These kids have such a great time. They require so little in order to have fun. And so it's always a blessing to be able to see the world through their eyes. Exactly. Well, we've got another great show lined up today, Mark. ArawakX is back. They're going to give us an update about what's happening there. And Fidelity is also here again to offer advice on financial coaching and debt management.
Definitely very relevant. And we're also going to be talking with Dr. Pinto again in our urology care segment. And we're going to be talking about varicose seals. Varicose seals. Remember that? I'm going to explain what that is. Men, pay attention. And we're also going to be talking to Dr. Ancilleno Davis about his initiative, Science and Perspective. But first, let's check on weather at Godfrey Burnside. There was a lot of rain in the west, but the east was dry. I don't know what's happening. Send the rain my way.
In the west. It's still raining in the west, so that's definitely checking with Godfrey and see what's happening there.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. And yes, let's look at weather sunrise. Yes, Mark, or wet today in store weather-wise. We have a westward moving surface trough near the central Bahamas, combined with a mid to upper level low, along with streaming tropical moisture, will create a wet pattern across the islands for most of the week. Today, there will cloudiness with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Those showers becoming heavier times. Those thunderstorms strong to severe times and will cause flooding in low-lying areas. And there is a possibility of some tornadic activity. High temperature 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, will be cloudy and warm. So we'll have a few nighttime showers or an isolated thunderstorm. The low going down to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados, 86 and 80. In Jamaica, 87 and 75. In Trinidad, 84 and 78. And the Texas and Caicos Islands, 90 and 78. Across North America, Atlanta, 88 and 74. In Raleigh, 85 and 71. In Miami, 89 and 76. Dallas, Texas, 92 and 76. And Toronto, Canada, 71 and 62. Actually, the next 3 days, at mid to upper level trough will continue to generate showers and thunderstorms across the islands, in particular the central and southeastern islands and parts of the northwest Bahamas. Will move to the northwest Bahamas by tomorrow. That includes Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Freeport. So we're going to look at variable cloudiness, still very warm, with scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms for most of the week. Low temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s to low 90s daytime and the upper 70s at nighttime. That's what you rock when you first look at the weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. Well, this morning we're joined by our good friend, DRC Rahming Jr., who, of course, is the Chief Technology Officer over there at ArawakX. ArawakX is going to be partnering with a global media platform called FinTech TV. So we're going to learn more about that this morning. And of course, DRC is going to be the one to share it with us. So DRC, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for having me again. I always love coming on the show.
Yeah, we always learn so much with ArawakX, so it's always a pleasure. Let's get started, first of all, by finding out who is FinTech TV.
So FinTech TV, so there's this emerging space that has happened over the last really 10 years. And what FinTech really is it's this convergence of finance and internet-based technologies. And blockchain is a type of FinTech. It has a lot of types of applications towards FinTech. So sometimes people think they're the same, but they're really not. They're this new space of technologies that is kind of evolving around the world. And what FinTech TV is it's a media group based out of New York City, based out of the New York Stock Exchange. They shoot from the New York Stock Exchange, the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, the floor of NASDAQ, and the floor of the London Stock Exchange, and soon to be the floor of ArawakX. And so they cover this space, and why they were really interested in coming to talk to us is because with all that's going on in the country with Crypto Bahamas, as well as the regulatory environment here is being set up to encourage fintechs to move down here. They wanted stories and great companies to cover, and it was natural for them to partner with a stock exchange that has these companies kind of approach them on a daily basis.
All right, excellent. Well, congratulations to you guys. It's a very big deal to have that sort of company reach out to you. I guess the question that I would have then is, how will this partnership work between FinTech TV and ArawakX?
So we're offering on-the-ground support. Obviously, we understand this region. So it's not just for the Bahamas, it's for the whole Caribbean. And so if anyone has tried to do cross-border business before, you know that the rules of the game are kind of different in different jurisdictions. And so they needed some boots on the ground, people that could really help them tell the stories and get the quality stories at all levels of private and public sector. And so they reached out to us. You know, we were on their show in January, or I would say actually late February. And so they recognize that they need strategic partners. And like I say, their strategy globally has been to partner with regional stock exchanges.
Okay. And how will FinTech TV give local companies access to a global audience?
That's great.
And what's the advantage of that?
So the advantage is that the people, so they have 8 million viewers a week. And their viewership are primarily hedge funds, primarily people in the financial space, both in New York and London. And what this will do is it will help put these fintechs in front of possible investors, possible people that are going to use them. And so it's a really important and it's a big deal for our country, because we're now having eyeballs of people that, you know, can write checks, that can actually finance these things. Because I can tell you, starting up ArawakX was not cheap. And it takes a certain type of mind and a certain type of investor to understand these things. And frankly, so the average fintech, for example, costs $16 million to start. So it's a little bit big beyond most Bahamian investors and most Bahamian investment. So if we are going to set up a fintech hub, which is what the Securities Commission has laid out some beautiful regulation and a beautiful environment for, you still have to have the financing for these kinds of companies. Otherwise, they're not coming, right? Companies move where the financing is. And
Right.
so, you know, we're working with FinTech TV and the ecosystem to make sure that people can get the eyeballs so people can get the financing that they need.
Excellent. No, this is really exciting information that we're learning about this morning. And, it all happens, or it seemed to have happened so quickly. And I guess that's the thing that happens with technology. You have the introduction of the DARE Act earlier this year, this excellent crypto conference, and now this exciting information happening here with FinTech TV. DRC, in your opinion, would you say, or how would you say, is the Bahamas and the Caribbean positioned in the space of digital assets, blockchain, and finance? What is our position? Where are we in the global space in terms of who we are?
So we have historically had really strong offshore financial services, and they lend themselves well to the modern world in the sense that, so like the Bahamas is known for trust law, for example. And trust law is about protecting people's assets, which is a really strong foundation for fintech, because that's what people worry about, right? Like, I'm operating with you over the internet. How do I know that you're going to be trustworthy with my money and my stuff? Well, the Bahamas has demonstrated that. And so as a center, it has the underlying structure in which to build these really innovative fintechs on top of. And so companies like ArawakX, other companies are looking and seriously considering setting up here to take advantage of that, because ultimately fintech is just providing financial services over the internet. Yeah. And so we have internet in every island. It's about then empowering the entrepreneurs that have the connections internationally to be able to reach out and do that. Because what's great about this space as well is this space, if you can get these companies working, is a net US dollar exporter. So that means that any business that happens outside of the Bahamas brings US dollars in, which we know is because we lived in a peg system. We need as many companies bringing US dollars into the country as possible if our country is going to grow. So this is a wonderfully emerging space. It's exciting. They've estimated only 1% of fintechs have been created. And so I would say to people out there that are thinking, entrepreneurs that are thinking about becoming part of the space, get a part of the space. If you're from a technology background or from a finance background, take a look at it. There's tons and tons of things. And exchange is a really weird part of the space, but there's all kinds of stuff that is going on around the world. And, but it is going to take people working together that are not used to working together, because technology people and finance people are two opposite sides of the brain almost. If you can get the right team together, ArawakX is going to make sure you're able to find the financing to grow, and make sure you're going to be able to find the media needed to make those right partnerships.
All right. When will we start seeing some of those interviews coming out for the region between ArawakX and?
Probably in this next quarter. Still takes time to set things up.
Okay, excellent. Well, congratulations to you again. And where can we find more information about ArawakX?
ArawakX.com. We currently have a launch going on. So take a look at that. There's many more launches and many more products about to come to the market. So there's some big news coming there as well.
Excellent. DRC, congratulations to you and your team. Every time I see you all, such a primarily young team, obviously supported in the background by people with lots of experience, but a primarily young team. It's just so exciting for the future. And I love that you talked, especially to those who are looking for new spaces. We have so many graduates that just came out of school, whether high school or college, and this really is the future. We're at the beginning of what would have been the internet age a couple of years ago, or what would have been, the launch of the Industrial Revolution 100 years ago. And so really, this is our time to get into this space, to learn and to see how far we can go and grow in terms of business. So grateful that ArawakX is here, making these sorts of partnerships, and of course, helping people to get funding. We thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me. And you guys enjoy your day.
You do the same. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We will be right back.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Welcome back. Today in our urology care segment, we're going to talk about a condition called varicocele, which affects 15 to 20% of all men. Here to give us the facts is Dr. Greggory Pinto, urologist with Urology Care. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas and Sunrise, Dr. Pinto.
Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning. I always have to say to my daughter, Gia. Yeah, varicoceles are extremely important for us to highlight because, as you mentioned, 15 to 20% of men, and we're talking about even young boys, preteens, can present with varicoceles, and most people don't even know what a varicocele is. So,
yeah, explain that to me.
So let's put it in perspective in terms of something that people commonly know: varicose veins, distension of the veins in the lower limbs and the legs. It's the same concept. So when we talk about veins, veins return blood back to the heart. Arteries take blood away from the heart. So when you have blood coming from the lower limbs, coming from the scrotum, where the testicular veins will lie, it's going against gravity. So you have to have valves that prevent it from going down, because against gravity, it's going uphill against pressure. So if those valves are incompetent, you may have a little bit of sludging, you may have a little bit of pooling of venous blood in your vein, and in this case, a testicular vein, and it allows a distension of the testicular vein. What is the effect of that? It can affect the environment, it can affect the temperature of the testicle itself, and that can negatively impact, firstly, sperm production. So the number one cause of male infertility is actually varicoceles. Not because you have a varicocele, you're gonna with certainty get male infertility, but it can somewhat reduce not just the number of sperm produced, but the quality of sperm produced. It could also affect negatively testicular production, so of testosterone. So when we've spoken many times about testosterone. Testosterone is a male hormone that gives that drive, that energy. More commonly, it's known to give you that sexual libido, ability to maintain and achieve an erection, but it also is very important for all your bodily systems. It's important in terms of maintaining your lean muscle mass. It allows you to have good endurance, stamina, prevents you from putting on weight very easily. So it's very important that you have a normal testosterone level. So varicoceles, if it's going to affect 15 to 20% of individuals, men in this country and every country throughout the world, we need to be wary of it. So I always try to tell men out there, you got to be aware of what's going on with your scrotum. You need to make sure that if you have any pain, if you're feeling anything abnormal in terms of the contacts, what's within the scrotum itself, the feeling of the testicle itself. So you always want to have a normal testicular examination in the shower. When you're having a warm shower, you want to feel with one hand between two fingers, your thumb and your forefinger. You want to basically roll the testicle and make sure that there's nothing feeling in terms of a nodule. It doesn't feel hard or craggy. There's no enlargement. There's no pain. In the testicle itself, there are many things that can cause it to have an abnormal feeling. In most cases, it's unrelated to anything cancerous.
So what
Luckily,
actually causes Sorry, what actually causes the valves to malfunction, or what's the primary cause?
It can be an acquired cause, it can be a congenital cause. So many people, in fact, in families, you'll find that varicocele and varicose veins run in families. So they're predisposed to develop valve incompetence. So as you get older, it have a greater risk. But as I said, you can have 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds having some element of valve incompetence and having varicoceles, which is, as I said, dissension of your testicular vein. So most times you're not going to have more than a mild form of a varicocele, where only when you have an increased intra-abdominal pressure, when you're straining, exercising, when you're lifting something heavy, you're going to have that increased intra-abdominal pressure. You're going to have that dull ache in one side or the other. Usually, it's rare to have varicoceles in both testicles, although it can happen. But usually more commonly on the left side and the right side, that's because of an anatomical reason. You're gonna have that dull ache. But when you have a severe case of varicoceles, you're gonna have persistent pain all the time. It could even lead to nausea, it can lead to lower abdominal pain. So you just need to be wary. If you have any pain in your testicle or in your scrotum, don't ignore it. Don't be fearful. It's very, very unlikely to be testicular cancer. Because of the makeup of our society, we're predominantly of African ancestry. Testicular cancer is extremely rare in our society. I might see 1, 2, 3 cases in an entire year. I might go an entire year and my colleagues and I won't see a case of testicular cancer. But when you're preteen, you also have to be mindful of, particularly between the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, and 25 to 28, you can have a condition called you basically have a twisting of the testicle itself. You have a testicular torsion. So if you have a torsion in the testicle, the blood supply could be compromised, and you only have 6 hours to get an intervention before that testicle dies. And it's well known that people don't like to go to the doctors. Young boys obviously are not going to confide to their parents that they have severe testicular pain all of a sudden. But if they're not aware that that 6-hour window goes by, you're going to lose that testicle. So any kind of pain, kids need to be told to be upfront with their parents, tell them right away. And if you do have a teenage child or if you yourself are a young adult, you have severe testicular pain, it could be 10 out of 10 pain, sudden onset, you might be woken up in the middle of the night, please go seek the consult of either the emergency room or seek consult of a urologist immediately before that 6-hour window goes by and you're going to lose that testicle.
So Dr. Pinto, with regards to treatment options for the condition varicoceles, what are the treatment options?
So you want to treat the root cause. So what you can do is you want to obliterate the actual offending vein that's causing that sludging, that pooling of blood. And that can be done many ways, sorry. So the most common way is that everything in urology is basically minimally invasive. We can do a laparoscopic procedure in 20, 25 minutes, little keyhole incisions, using long surgical instruments, looking up on a high definition screen, and we basically ligate and ablate the actual offending testicular vein. And you have other veins that allow you to have a supply to that testicle. Or we could do a sclerosing agent. We can basically inject a special agent that basically obliterates the vein itself, called a sclerosing agent. We can do microsurgery. So we can use surgical loops, or we could actually use a surgical microscope to actually go down into the groin, make a small little keyhole incision, and basically tie off the offending vein. So there are many ways that can be done. Not every varicocele is symptomatic enough to require treatment. In fact, most don't. But if you have an issue with male infertility, that in itself can help correct the male infertility and allow you to have that child.
Well, that's good to know. Definitely sounds like a painful condition, uncomfortable, and probably very confusing. As you said, once we start to feel pain down there, we might automatically think it's testicular cancer, like you mentioned, but there's a number of other conditions out there. And thankfully, persons like yourself are able to treat us men. So men, don't hold back. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. right? And teach it to your sons that we have to take care of our health from day one. This isn't about pride and ego. This is about maintaining your body in the utmost conditions so you can be around and have a quality of life that you are deserving. So Dr. Pinto, always learn so much from you. If anyone has any questions regarding varicose seals or any other condition, how can they find you?
I have a website, Urology Care Bahamas. You can send emails at welcome@Urology Care Bahamas. I'm a consultant at Princess Margaret Hospital. And my main office is at Oak Tree Medical Center, and the number there is 322-1145 or 6.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Dr. Pinto. I always learn so much, and I always say to myself, I need to book my doctor's appointment. So thank you again for coming on Bahamas at Sunrise, talking to us about varicose seals. Dr. Greggory Pinto with Urology Care. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
In the Bahamas, small business is big business. More than 90% of the businesses in the Bahamas are classified as micro, small, or medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center was created to serve them. We at the Access Accelerator offer a variety of services to our clients: business advisory services, training and entrepreneurial programming, mentorship and incubation, and advocacy.
Join the Click is an initiative started by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions last year when we were trying to figure out how to help business leaders as well as consumers to stay connected. Working with Canoe, working with other partners, working with the government and My Gateway to help them to connect with customers who want to place orders and want to be able to do things in a digital way.
My Gateway. My Gateway is a groundbreaking portal through which clients can request and pay for government services online. We have 28 services. We expect to increase the number of services to a minimum of 200.
I love that we're helping the government and helping our citizens to be more efficient and to use their time more wisely.
I invite you to sign up for mygateway.gov.bs and let us make government work for you. Join the click.
Weather at Sunrise.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this marvelous Monday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Mark Daniels. Thank you for joining us dead early on this wet Monday. The rain has finally reached the east.
And Mark, I think you may be the only one excited about it, but I'm happy for you. I think, Mark is a plant lover, as many of you may know if you watch the show. And it's important that they get the rain, right? There's something that just comes when it's coming from God, and it doesn't come when it's coming from a can. So my husband has also been very pleased for our grass, which dies a lot faster, I guess, in the dry heat or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's happy about the rain just as much as you, Mark. So good for you guys. Good for you guys. I'll be staying inside like all the other people who are slightly annoyed.
No. I'm going to go outside at some point and soak up some of this rain myself because I'm just a plant. I'm a brown plant.
I hear you. Well, we've had a good first half of the morning so far talking with Dr. Pinto and ArawakX. As you said, Mark, you always learn so much when Dr. Pinto comes on the show. And ArawakX is really doing some revolutionary things as it relates to fintech. It really is the start of a new era. And if people are wise or are able to invest or even to learn new skills, it's the time to do it because fintech is about, it's not about to change the world. It has, and we've just not yet learned how much so, but we will in the coming years, certainly.
It reminds me of when we saw that jump from payphone to cell phone or no internet to internet or Game Boy to PlayStation. We're at that point again where technology is having to move us forward as a people on this planet. And if you're a little bit uninformed, you might be a little bit apprehensive, There's lots of resources out there for you to learn about the digital space, cryptocurrency, the fintech that's out there. The same way it's important for you to go and schedule your appointment, man. Don't ignore those signs of your decreasing health and teach it to your sons to take care of themselves.
Yeah, I love that, Mark. You always come with a strong word for our men. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show with us. All right, well, we got more stuff to come in the second half. Fidelity is here. They're going to be discussing their financial coaching and debt management services.
Definitely looking forward to that. And we're also going to be talking to Dr. Ancilleno Davis about his initiative, Science and Perspective. Stay tuned for that. But now let's take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside. Thank you for sending the rain, Godfrey. My plants, they thank you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather sunrise around the tropics, we are monitoring three systems this morning. One tropical wave about 950 miles east-southeast of the Windward Islands continue to show signs of organization, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next few days as the system moves west-west, and the system has over the next 48 hours a 70% chance of development, and over the next 5 days a 90% chance of cyclone formation. Then we have a tropical pressure over the north-central Gulf of Mexico. This system has a 20% chance of formation through the next 5 days. And the third, a tropical wave located several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. This system has a 20% chance of formation over the next 5 days. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation are expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, we have a westward moving surface trough near the central Bahamas, combined with a mid to upper level trough and streaming tropical moisture, will create a wet pattern across the island over the next few days. In your marine forecast today, those winds are southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet, over the southeastern island. On Tuesday, they continue southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots, sea 2 to 5 feet, over the southeastern islands. On Wednesday, those winds become east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet, over the southeastern islands. And we also advising boaters to be on the lookout for gusty winds and higher seas, looking at those heavier showers and the thunderstorms. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 7:25 this morning. Next low tide will be at 1:26 this afternoon. High gain this evening at 7:54. Sunset will be at 8:02 this evening. Rising tomorrow morning at 6:22. UV index 8. Your water temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase is now moving towards a new moon. Your extended look, that mid-upper level trough will hang around for another couple of days, and that's going to cause some continuing showers and thunderstorms across the island. And the temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s at daytime and the upper 70s at nighttime. That's what's rocking your sun. Look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you for the weather update, Godfrey. If you need help building a roadmap towards achieving financial security, Fidelity is the bank for you. Here to talk with us about this, we're very happy to welcome Victoria Albury. She's the manager of Fidelity Financial Center, Abaco. And we're also joined today by Tennessee Bowe, who's been with us before. She's the manager with Fidelity Financial Center, Wolf Road. Ladies, good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
I think I am probably out. because it does not seem likely that both of my guests are out. And so I am waiting on a word from my producers to see what's happening. My apologies if it is that I am the one that has
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you for staying with us through that technical glitch. Of course, only, right before something happens, it means that what's going to come thereafter is excellent. And so we trust that this assignment with Fidelity is going to be well worth the wait. Again, we're talking this morning with Victoria Albury, who's the manager for Fidelity Financial Center in Abaco, and Tennessee Bowe, who's the manager for Fidelity Financial Center on both roads. Ladies, good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you.
A pleasure to have you both with us. We always learn so much whenever Fidelity is here. And I think these segments give people hope because it's a reminder to them that you can change your present circumstance. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to understand is if one of you could tell us about the financial coaching services that are available currently at Fidelity.
Sure, I'll jump right in and give you some information about that. Thanks for having us. Financial coaching is not a new concept to Fidelity. I've been with Fidelity for 16 years now, and we've been offering financial coaching services during that whole period of time. Fidelity is fully engaged in educating our customers to the banking information so that they have a better understanding of what's happening with their finances, and so that they can enjoy financial success in the future. Through the financial coaching, we take a deep dive into clients' current financial position by evaluating their assets, their liabilities, income, expenses, long-term investments, things like that. And we develop a relationship with our clients so that we can formulate an action plan for them, and through budgeting, help them better understand the action plan the actions they need to take for financial success. But this is an ongoing process, so it's not a one-time fix, and it does take commitment on behalf of both the customer and the banking representative. So people need to be committed, and they really need to want to change their current financial positions. So it's exciting to be a part of financial coaching. And when you see customers actually achieve their goals that they've set, that's a really special moment for us.
Yeah, I can imagine because it's just always so good to see what is possible. And so I love that you use the word action there, because everything you want is on the other side of action, but it does take that commitment to make sure it happens. Tennessee, we're having this conversation, and I'm sure there are people who are watching and who wonder if they're even up to the task, right? But who should consider getting financial coaching?
I would say everyone should consider getting financial coaching, whether you're just entering the job market or you're working already. We all need financial guidance. So, like I said, whether you're just entering the market or you're working already, come and see us. So everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs to be held accountable. Everyone needs a cheerleader. And that's what a financial coach is, someone who's going to hold you accountable, but then also cheer you on because like Victoria said, it is a process. And sometimes it can be daunting.
No, and I agree, right? And this is why it's so important that as you understand goal setting and you break down milestones, that person is holding you accountable to the milestones that you said, that you set together, the permission that you gave them to do so. And then that person is also going to be the one to encourage you as you get closer to it so that you reach that final goal. So I always think about Shawnee Miller and her coach, and they do it together. She's the runner, but he's the one that's pushing her along the way to get that, to make it happen. And so it takes these two people to make this thing work. Now, how do I get started with financial coaching, and what info will I need to bring to the sessions in order to make it effective?
Victoria?
Sorry. So we can proceed with basic information that you can bring to the table for your financial coaching session would be information on all your loans, information on your income, the assets that you hold. All of these things, you can bring this information to us and we can start to compile the program for you. It is best to be honest. It's kind of like going to the doctor a little bit. You need to give honest, frank information. And also having documents to support that information is really important for us so that we're not just pulling figures out of the air. It also helps you become accountable and hold those figures true and close to you. You can get started at any time. Simply call Fidelity and make an appointment with one of our financial coaching representatives. Once you have those figures in mind and in place, call one of our people and make an appointment to come in and see us.
Yeah, Victoria, I hear you, but I think that there's also this shame around finances. And it's interesting because a lot of us just don't know. So we're doing the best we can with the information that we do have, which is very limited because not many of us study it. That has been a part of so many of our life cycles for so long that many people think it's normal. And so we say, just tell us the truth. And yet people feel like they have to hold back. So, Tennessee, as I think about this next question, I want you to be honest with me and I want you to be honest with our viewers, because the truth of the matter is, if I'm in trouble and burdened with debt, can Fidelity really help me to create a plan to manage that? Even if it's a lot of debt, I'm loans everywhere, maxed out cards. I've got this debt. Can Fidelity help me to create a plan to manage that?
Yes, we can definitely help you. One of the things I share with clients is time is one of our greatest assets. So it doesn't matter where you are today. Okay, so we want to look towards the future. And so we want to create a plan to get you to where you need to be. It doesn't matter. So you see what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
so we can definitely create a plan for our clients. One of the things we say is if you fail to plan, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
You plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You plan to fail.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of the right person working with you.
Exactly. And we like to make our clients feel comfortable as well. And everything is confidential. And so baby steps, you just have to take baby steps. Just making that adjustment in your habits can make all of the difference.
Okay. And, I guess one of the other things that we need to understand is that not all debt is bad debt, right? Like some debt can actually be good. So it's about how we manage it. So how does debt management work? And are there different options to debt management?
Right. I'll take that one. Let's face it. We all need access to credit, right? I mean, in order to get ahead in life, we need access to credit, whether it be, for a personal loan, for a mortgage, credit cards, overdraft facility. All of these products that we offer here at Fidelity can be used for people to improve their lives. However, how we manage that debt is really the key, because you don't want that debt to become out of control. So this is one of the things that we do through the financial coaching, is help our customers understand their debt, and also help rein it in. So there's good and bad borrowing, right? Borrowing should be for things that are going to improve your assets. So let's talk about property, your mortgage. Those are sensible things. Also for sound purposes, like borrow for education, or maybe for a new vehicle. Even borrowing to improve your bottom line, improve your business. Those are all really sound purposes for borrowing. But if your debt has got off track and you're starting to feel a little bit consumed by your debt, then like Tennessee says, we can help. You just need to make that step to come into us. We like to say, you need to manage your debt. Your debt should not be managing you. Okay. So you need to be in control. And if you're feeling right now that you're a little bit out of control of your debt, come in and see one of our financial coaches, because there's various options we have. We have wonderful savings programs that will allow you to save, and then eventually you can start to make principal payments on your loan, or you can settle your debt altogether once you've saved enough. For those Bahamians that are in ASUs and other savings programs, listen, when your ASU comes due, take a portion of that ASU, put it towards your debt, put it towards a principal payment. Don't just take that vacation to South Beach. Put some of the money aside and make sure that you are planning for the future. Obviously, everybody also knows about the tool of debt consolidation. That's something that we do regularly here at Fidelity to help our customers. We educate our customers to say, look, these are the other debts that you have. If we can get you in a better position by putting all these debts into one loan, and maybe save you a little bit of money each month back into your salary, you can then start one of these savings programs for the long term. So these are all tools that we use through the financial coaching in order to manage the debt properly.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm very happy we're having the conversation this morning. We just don't know enough about it. And so it's great that Fidelity continues to come and share. Tennessee, do you have any final words for us this morning? Any words that you want to leave with our potential customers or even current customers about ways in which, they can have some hope, because it's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new start if you want it to be. So any final words for them?
Just come in and see us. Just remember that the financial journey is indeed a process. So just come in and see us. We'd be more than happy to sit with you and to walk you through this process, which involves goal setting and then taking a look at the budget, because the budget is the key aspect of the financial process. We need to know where your money is going. And I think that's the problem that most of us struggle with. We really don't know where our money is going. And so call us today and let us get you on the right financial path.
Excellent. Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Of course, we've been talking with Tennessee Bowe, who's the manager of Fidelity Financial Center on Wolf Road, and Victoria Albury, who's the manager of Fidelity Financial Center in Abaco. And it's really been a great conversation. My husband and I have really just gotten super serious about budgeting and so focused. And it's just amazing that you said, Tennessee, until we focus on it, we don't know where it's going to go. And it is a process, right? Because if you've not been focused on it before, you can be doing all sorts of things, right? And it's not until you become intentional about it that you recognize maybe how much you have the potential to have. But it does take those serious steps, and good coaching makes all the difference. So, of course, we want to encourage you to reach out to Fidelity. They do offer this coaching, great suggestions by Ms. Albury about ways in which you can manage it. And there's so much more to learn from them. So please contact Fidelity if you are interested in learning more. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you also.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
We're good for you.
Welcome back. Science and Perspective brings formal and academic science through the lens of Bahamian culture and lived experience. Here to tell us more is Dr. Ancilleno Davis, CEO and owner of Science and Perspective. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Dr. Davis.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning. It's great to be here, and good morning, Bahamas. And I hope today you're all edified and learn a little bit more about how you can integrate science into your own life, but also how we can develop this country that we're living in and enjoying.
Very well said. Lino, you and I have been friends and colleagues for many years. I know about the power of Lino and the power of science, but let's talk to our viewers about the importance of science and perspective. So tell us first, what is the goal of Science and Perspective?
So really, my philosophy is that everyone can use more science. It doesn't matter what part of your life. Science is about observing and seeing what's right, what's not so right, and then adapting to make it better or easier for us to live in the world that we're presented with. But at the same time that we can all use more science, we all need a lot more perspective. And scientists like yourself or myself, while we work in the environment, sometimes we need to get to the Bahamian people and learn from them what their situation is, so that we can use that and adapt that to when we're making new legislation about natural resource management, or when we're studying the supply chain management that was affected during Hurricane Dorian and COVID, or when we're discussing the treatment for viral infections and epidemics like chikungunya virus, dengue virus, and of course, COVID.
Exactly. And I don't want to misquote you, but I feel like I've always heard you say, check the science, or, what's the data, the importance of data. And it's like you said, it's about making these observations and then making an informed decision afterwards. And this can be in any facet of your life, as you've mentioned. So tell us, how did Science and Perspective get started?
So actually, I was doing a bird presentation at the Bahamas National Trust. And I'm teaching people how to use binoculars, and the youngest person that I've ever taught to use binoculars is a little girl. She has a binoculars and she's like, bird, and she's pointing at this bird, and all the adults and older people, we're standing up and we're like, where's this bird? We can't see this bird. Until I got down on my knees and I'm eye level with her, and you look under the trees inside the retreat garden, and she sees this Caribbean dove was down there. And so she was at the point where she couldn't even, really describe the bird, but she could use binoculars. Yep. And she could point out a bird to us. Mm-hmm. And so I realized that, everyone has a different perspective, a different point of view. And until we put ourselves in their position, it doesn't matter how much science we know, right? It doesn't matter how far we went with our education if we're not helping the communities that we work with to apply it in their context.
Right.
And so that was a big part of it for me. But also I grew up as a pretty good student. And so I was told that I need to be a doctor or a dentist or a veterinarian. And I quickly realized that I'm not all about being inside a building for 12 hours a day, right? And there's a lot of students out there like that who could not find a job that was appropriate to their passions and their skill set in science. And so a lot of it has been, for me, inspiring these students and showing them that there are people like myself, like Scott Johnson, like Dr. Krista Sherman, Crystal Ambrose, who are out there following their passion and, you know, making a living from being scientists.
Yeah. And I think what's important, as you mentioned, is, you know, science needs to be in the conversation. You know, by extension, it is when you say, okay, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an engineer. But, you know, whether you're a scientist in the natural sciences and geographical sciences, you're applying it, you're applied science, that needs to be in the discussion more, because as you mentioned, it's the science that we use to solve the problems that are important to us here in the Bahamas, which is really what we should be focusing our efforts on. So give us an example. How can science and perspective give us a different view on, let's say, tub spiders and how they help us?
So right now, like you just using the word tub spiders, who called them tub spiders, right? You have something like Cerasee. In the Bahamas, people might call it different names. You have monkey tamarin. But I've never seen a monkey in the bush in the Bahamas. Why they call it monkey tamarin, right? You call it like itchy beans or something like that, right? And these types of things, when you describe something to another Bahamian and you say, this is what it's called, or you tell them that the silk cotton tree is protected in the Bahamas, or the lignum vitae is our national tree, and the yellow elder is our national flower. Every Bahamian child, when they learn that, they should say, why? You know, why are you saying this? Why do we have like French grunt and Spanish hogfish? And these things, people are just accepting all of this and not asking why. And a lot of these things we have inherited from our colonial past, where, you know, British rulers, they came and they say, oh, the Spanish hogfish has the color of the Spanish army. The French grunt has the color of the French army. The Bahamas ain't never been at war, right? Right? So why are we using those references, right? Yeah. And now we have the perspective where we can be teaching Bahamians, hey, this species is only on Cat Island or Eleuthero or San Salvador. And your master's thesis work talked about that, right? Yep. You need a classification system for the Bahamas. Yes. Where a Bahamian goes around and understands these ecosystems and says, this is how we should classify it, not using some broad scale, you know, Western Hemisphere or North American system, but let's develop a Bahamian system. And that goes through all industries. Let's move from taking this top-down information, this trickle-down science, and let's have a Bahamian on Cat Island who's discovering those new species, the seahorses, the different types of moths, the bats and stuff like that. Let's do it from home and then send it out to the world. We have 700 islands. You know how much cool science there is to be done? And we have like 60,000 Bahamian students inside the high school, the primary school and high school age. Man, each one of them could have a scientific project, and we need to support that, I think.
So what do you think are some of the areas that we need to have a scientific perspective on, or what areas do you think students should be focusing on as they plan for their future in the science industry or field?
So a big part of what I do with Science and Perspective is actually advise students through those last years of high school as they're thinking about science. What do you need to focus on? First, the math. And we regularly hear in social media where someone's saying, oh, the Bahamas has this $1 billion resource. Really? Like how much? Just math the math. You know what I mean? And sometimes when the math ain't mathing, you need to ask more questions.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the basic things. The next thing is bush medicine. Right now, we have so many Bahamians who have this absolute faith in bush medicine. During COVID, we had lots of people promoting the use of blue vervain, for example. And a very simple thought process of them saying blue vervain has chemicals in it that would stop the COVID virus. I want a Bahamian to say, okay, it has this chemical that stops the COVID virus, right? What other chemicals does the plant have in it? And what do those other chemicals do to me? Because some people want to take the same plant again and again and again inside their bush tea every morning. But while you curing one thing, you might be killing a different part of your body. And blue vervain, for example, causes abortions. Wow. And people aren't thinking about these things. And so I want Bahamians to start questioning it. And although we mightn't be using the bush medicine every day anymore, but we could develop our boutique industries where people come to the Bahamas for our Bahamian plants and that bush medicine preparation that's properly studied. That's well studied, so that we know exactly what's inside it, what's the relative concentrations, and what tastes good.
Yeah, that's you said it perfectly, Dr. Davis. We have to use the science to solve the problems that we face, but also the opportunities that we have. And bush medicine is definitely one of them. Look at China, look at their traditional medicine history, and look at what they've built up. And we can do the same thing, especially as climate change impacts us and with day-to-day losing resources. I thank you so much for what you've been doing in terms of encouraging students and encouraging us all to have a better perspective. I can talk to you all morning, my brother. We need to bring you back on so we can talk a little more about the science, talk a little more about the perspective. So I'd like to thank you again, Dr. Ancilleno Davis, CEO and owner of Science and Perspective, reminding us all that you might have the science, but don't forget the perspective. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Mark. It was great to be here. And I challenge every Bahamian to look up Mark Daniels' master thesis, look up my doctorate dissertation, and just get more involved in the science. You can find us on Beings, Bahamians Educated in Natural and Geospatial Sciences on Facebook. And you can find me throughout social media. If you could spell my name right, you can find me. All right. Perfect. And at Sci Perspective on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thank you so much, Lino. Always a pleasure talking to you.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We wish you a wonderful day and a great week. We'll be back with more on Friday.
Yes, thank you for joining us dead early on this morning, on this Monday on Bahamas at Sunrise. Go run in the rain. Go splash around a little bit, but don't catch a cold. See you on Friday.
That's it. Bye.